Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Walk and Life Experiences with Pam. Today on my channel, I would like to talk about being married to a covert narcissist for 20 plus years. And for those of you that do not know what a covert narcissist is, it is people who are self-conscious, socially insecure, and introverted, which means their narcissistic actions are more subtle. And with that being said, let's start the conversation. Some signs of a covert narcissist are, number one, lack of empathy. And this is where they may ignore others' concerns and follow their own agenda. And with my husband, he did that a lot. He did not want me to form an opinion on anything whatsoever. And if I inserted an opinion into the conversation, it was always met with anger, which in turns turned into an argument, which most of the time was not good. And number two, passive aggressive behavior. This is where they may say they agree to a request, but then do nothing or act however they want to. And with my husband, if I suggested something and it wasn't his idea, he would say, "Okay, Pam," as to say, "We're going to do this thing," but really, in all actuality, we're not. I just said that just so you can be quiet. And number three, hypersensitivity, where a covert narcissist may be very sensitive to criticism. I remember one time my husband had this idea, and I said, "Wow, that's a great idea." And, just to add my little sense in to try to make things better, if you did it this way, this will be even better. Being the empathetic person that I am, just trying to make the situation better. And it was met with, "Wow, you always have to tweak everything your way." Again, which turned into an argument, which was not good. And number four, the need for admiration. This is where they crave admiration and importance. And yes, I went through this also. My husband will walk around the house saying, "I'm going to do this or that," or whatever this or that was. And if anybody cares, "I'm going to do this if anybody cares." He would even cut the grass and say, "Oh, everybody else says my lawn looks good, but not you. You haven't told me anything." This is the type of things that I went through being married to the narcissist husband. And number five is hidden superiority. This is where they may secretly believe that they are superior to others, even though they may appear shy and modest. And my husband would always talk about his pride and that he was not like any of the people that he hung around, pretty much to say that he was better than them. But, of course, they would never know this. He always said it to me. And number six, difficulty forming relationships. This is where they may have trouble forming meaningful relationships because they view others as objects to manipulate. I remember in the beginning of our relationship, how my husband would talk about all his past relationships that did not work. And of course, there were so many. It was like he couldn't stay in a committed relationship to make it work. He was always in and out of relationships. And number eight, which is covert antagonism and aggression. This is where they may hold negative feelings towards others and display them in a passive aggression situation. And expressing negative emotions indirectly, such as anger or frustration, instead of addressing them directly, whether it be verbal or nonverbal. I would get this all the time from him. He would always complain frequently about feeling underappreciated or cheated. So these are some of the things or some of the signs that you have a covert narcissist in your life. Now, some of the red flags that I experienced were lies. He told a lot of lies in the beginning and all through the relationship. And again, me being the empathetic person that I am, I kind of just dismissed him for whatever reason at the time, not understanding that this was a red flag. And I know it may sound strange to some of you all, but when you're in a relationship in regards to someone that you care about and they lie to you, you tend to dismiss it sometimes, or if they give you a good excuse, you'll accept that because you have no reason to distrust them. And number 2 would be love bombing, where this is a manipulative tactic that involves showering someone with excessive attention and affection to gain control over them. It is a form of emotional abuse that can occur at any stage in any relationship, but most of the time it's often seen in the beginning. And in the beginning of our relationship, he gave me excessive compliments. You're beautiful. I like how you handle your business. And he would pick me up from work and take me to lunch, mind you, at the time in someone else's car that I didn't know that he was dealing with. And there were early declarations of love very early on in the relationship. After 2 months, he was already telling me he loved me. So these are some of the things or some of the signs that you can look out for. And another sign would be isolation, where he tried to isolate me from friends, telling me, why are you always talking to them? They just want to be in your business. And when I continued to be friends with them, he would get so angry and he would try to separate us in any way possible. So guys, these are some of the things that I went through in my relationship in regards to knowing when he was a covert narcissist and seeing the red flags. And I just want to say, it felt very intoxicating at first and overwhelming and confusing. And that's important because you need to be aware of these red flags early on in a relationship so you can get out before it becomes dangerous. Okay, my people, I think I'm going to make this a 2-part series on however long it takes it to do, because I was with him for 26 years. With him for 6 years before we were married and 20 years after. And a lot of things happened in those 26 years that I would like to speak about. So with that being said, I thank you guys for tuning in today and joining in with me again on next Friday, September the 19th of 2024, where I will continue the conversation of being married to a covert narcissist, and where I will start out the conversation with thinking that I could change him and his ways. And again, I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to have you tune in again on next week. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you then. Bye.